People should not be afraid of their governments. Governments should be afraid of their people.
As the French Revolution ignited in 1792, the aristocracy was rife with corruption, greed, and indifference to the suffering of the people. Among them stood a figure whose devotion to power and privilege symbolized everything the revolution sought to destroy, Marie Savoie, better known as the Princess of Lamballe. A woman whose unwavering support for the despised Queen Marie Antoinette sealed her fate in the blood-stained streets of Paris. Born into nobility in 1749, Lamballe was raised in opulence, far removed from the struggles of the common people. At 17, she married into the wealth of the Bourbon family, securing a place in one of the most powerful dynasties in France. But it wasn't just wealth she sought, it was influence. Her ambition found a perfect match in the glimmering halls of Versailles, where her loyalty to Queen Marie Antoinette became her ticket to unparalleled power.
While the people of France starved, Lamballe thrived in the excess of the royal court. As superintendent of the Queen's household, she had control over vast sums of money and wielded her position to ensure her own luxurious lifestyle, far removed from the suffering outside the palace walls. The bond between Lamballe and Marie Antoinette went beyond friendship. It was a partnership built on the preservation of their corrupt, privileged lives. As France spiraled into financial crisis, it was not the Queen or her loyal supporters who felt the impact. It was the people, the commoners, who paid for their excesses. Lamballe's name became synonymous with the decadence of the monarchy. In 1785, when the infamous diamond necklace affair scandalized France, it was clear that the court was steeped in corruption. Though Lamballe wasn't directly involved, her unwavering support of Marie Antoinette during the scandal only further fueled the public's outrage.
Her defense of the Queen, who was accused of lavishly spending state money on personal indulgence, made her complicit in the eyes of the public. Lamballe's loyalty was not one of virtue. It was a blind allegiance to a corrupt regime that bled the country dry. In 1789, the revolution broke out, and the common people began to rise against the aristocracy's centuries of exploitation. As the monarchy was toppled, Lamballe's privileged world began to crumble. Yet, even as the storm of rebellion raged, she remained by Marie Antoinette's side, determined to uphold the old order that had failed the people. When the royal family was imprisoned, Lamballe fled to England briefly, but soon returned to Paris. Her reason was not one of courage, it was arrogance. She believed, even in the face of revolution, that her loyalty to the monarchy would protect her. In reality, it would only seal her doom. By September 1792, the revolution's fury was unstoppable. The massacres that swept through Paris were a direct response to years of exploitation by the elite. Figures like Princess Lamballe, whose unchecked power and greed had contributed to the people's suffering. On September 3rd, 1792, she was dragged from her cell in La Force prison by a revolutionary mob, screaming for blood.
The princess was offered a chance to renounce her loyalty to the Queen. In one last act of arrogance, she refused, believing her royal ties still gave her strength. The mob, already driven to madness by hunger and oppression, saw her as the embodiment of everything wrong with France. Her fate was sealed.
Her murder was brutal. Her body was desecrated, and her head paraded on a pike through the streets, a macabre symbol of the revolution's vengeance against the aristocracy. The message was clear. The era of corruption and excess was over, and Lamballe's fate was a warning to all who dared to stand with the monarchy. The Princess of Lamballe's downfall was not that of a tragic heroine, but of a woman who represented the worst of France's corrupt aristocracy. She was part of a system that fed on the toil of the masses, her lavish lifestyle paid for by their suffering. The revolution may have been born out of desperation, but it was fueled by a deep anger towards figures like Lamballe, who refused to see the writing on the wall. As the reign of terror spread across France, over 40,000 lives were lost in the pursuit of a new order. Among them were nobles, clergymen, and anyone suspected of supporting the monarchy. But Lamballe's death stood out as a reminder of how far the revolution had come. From the opulent halls of Versailles to the blood-soaked streets of Paris, the power of the aristocracy was broken.
The tale of Princess Lamballe is more than just a moment from the past. It is a warning that echoes across centuries. Her fate serves as a grim reminder to all corrupt leaders, past and present, that no power is absolute, no luxury eternal. Governments that betray their people, that drain their citizens through illegitimate taxes, oppressive laws, and crippling price hikes are always on borrowed time.
When the people starve, when their voices are ignored, they have only one recourse: to rise. History has shown time and again that the anger of the public is a force no government can withstand. The revolution that swept through France was not a singular event. It was the product of years of neglect and greed. And like the first strike of a domino, such movements grow, spreading rapidly until entire systems collapse.
And let this be a message to those in power. Governments should always fear their people, for when the scales of justice tip too far towards oppression, the people will reclaim their power with a fury unmatched. No corrupt government will survive the vendetta of a population pushed to its limits. The lesson of Lamballe and of countless rulers who have fallen is clear. The greater the oppression, the fiercer the uprising. And in the end, for all those who would wield power without conscience, beware the first domino.
We hope you found this exploration of the French Revolution and the rise and fall of Princess de Lamballe insightful. History is not merely a record of events, it is a mirror reflecting the struggles, triumphs, and lessons of humanity.
We invite you to join the conversation. Your thoughts and perspectives matter, and together we can develop a collective consciousness that informs our understanding of both the past and present. Share your thoughts and insights on social media using the hashtag #CollectiveConscious. What lessons do you think we can learn from history? How can we apply these lessons to today's world? For more documentaries and discussions that provoke thought and inspire action, subscribe to our channel. Stay updated on future content that dives deep into history and its relevance to contemporary issues.
If you found value in this documentary, share it with your friends, family, and networks. Let's spread awareness and foster dialogue about the importance of accountability, transparency, and the power of the people.
Thank you for being a part of this journey. Let's continue to learn from the past and shape a better future for all.